Sandy, we kicked off today's show with Gave Me Away, lifted off the band's 1991 EP, and that song remained in the band's live set for pretty much your entire career. Am I correct in assuming that it was written very early in the band's career?
Yeah, I think Gave Me Away was written pretty much because we went through some lineup changes, and Catherine joined the band probably after we'd written that song, so the original version was a little bit different to the version that you just heard. That was off the Three Good Reasons EP, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, so Kevin Shirley sort of had an image in his head, I think, of how he wanted us to sound, and he pretty much drove the band in that direction, which was fine. It was fine with us at the time, but we didn't want to lose that that individual percussive sound either, and after we did that EP, we found our sound went very much more down the rock road. Michelle and I, the drummer, didn't mind because we were really into hard rock at the time. Catherine probably wanted to stay a little bit more funky, and Janelle was more into pop. So with all those influences, we kind of found ourselves heading down the rock path anyway. And that EP was very much the beginning of it because Kevin Shirley, as you know, is a big rock producer and even still now does a lot of some of the world's biggest rock bands. So he actually edited Catherine's solos too, which I wasn't happy with. I remember. Really? And that was in the day of tape. So we'd come in the next day and the tape would be on the floor and I'd go, where's the second half of the solo? And he was like this crazy professor who'd be editing everything. And, but yeah, it was interesting. But that's actually got a drum machine in it at some point, I think, that recording.
Okay.
This weird-ass sounding drum machine that comes in the middle eight. And that's him. He pulled that out from under the desk and I think he was on the Source and he started playing. And me and Michelle were looking at each other like, what is this? Like, it was just, yeah, but anyway, he went with it in the recording and, you know, we were happy enough. That song charted number 13. That EP, I think it was, charted number 13 on the independent chart. So we just sort of went with it. Yeah.
Did that get an ARIA nomination as well?
So the ARIA nomination was for Christmas Slips Away Another Year. Christmas Slips Away Another Year got the ARIA nomination, as independent release. Yeah, because Triple J flogged that song, which looking back, it's bizarre to me. But yeah, they really hoed into that one, and yeah.
You know, looking back, the band had a bunch of strong tunes in their repertoire, including the aforementioned Gave Me Away. And most of those songs contain some really interesting lyrics. And as I just mentioned, the track we just played has lines like, we know Jenny's got a Polaroid back, she shoots to kill and she's hip, not slack. I mean, there's nothing cliched or mundane about those lyrics. That's one of yours. What were you trying to say with that song?
Honestly, the truth is, with that band, I literally used to make lyrics up on stage. And and I had, this sounds really bizarre, but I had a conversation with Bono from U2 one night. He was actually at one of our gigs. And I was telling him...
Wow, I didn't know that.
And I was saying, he said, he paid us a compliment. And I said to him, thanks, I make the lyrics up on the spot pretty much. And he said, I do that all the time too. Or I used to do... No, he said, I used to do it in my early days.
Wow.
And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He said, because for me it was boring to sing the same thing over. I said, I know. I can fully relate. But a lot of it was just, young and naive. And then what would happen is something would rhyme and sound a bit cool, so we'd just keep it. And then once we recorded, we had to commit to something, so I'd grab a piece of paper and a pen, and, yeah, it was really pretty much...
Where was that... Where did he show up? Which venue was that?
By memory, it was at the St James Underground Tavern. Did you ever go there?
Many times, many times.
We were playing with Boom Crash Opera, and I think Boom Crash Opera had also played with them the night before or something, and so they'd come along to the show, and the drummer and Larry and Bono, which was great for me. I always wanted to meet Larry, so that was a really good night for me, because growing up playing the drums, I thought he was amazing, so...
You had an amazing collection of original tunes, thinking back in your live set. Was that a collaborative effort with the songs or individuals which they brought to the rehearsal?
Well, originally Janelle and I would do all the writing. Then Catherine Can, when she joined the band, she started writing as well. So we might have an idea. And the way we sort of ended up liking to work was to jam on things in the rehearsal room and everyone have an input, even Michelle, because I think when you're doing it as much as we were, it was like breathing. We all wanted to be part of it. Like, it was kind of it seemed nonsensical for us, Janelle and I, to write a song and then take it in and give the parts to the other two and say, well, this is how it goes, because that's just not where we were at the time. Extremely prolific, because I've got stuff, like, from the start of the band to when the band broke up, lots of different shades, but so many songs. Like,
A lot of songs.
Yeah, and I've even got some early Candy Harlot stuff that I was listening to from when I lived with Lino, and same sort of thing there, like really prolific, but a lot of that stuff probably never ever got played live. Interesting.
Well, one of the amazing songs I'd like to mention was Feel the Beat of the Drum, heavy on percussion, really, really catchy and a great set opener. You obviously recall that one. I enjoy that because it used to, and you've mentioned this, it got people moving, it got your attention. Who came up with that one? Was that you and Janelle? Or?
Yeah, that was written on the bass, that song. So a lot of the stuff we write on the bass with just drums and bass because Janelle and I would write like that. And that was written before Catherine joined the band. Catherine Can joined the band. So Catherine Tullich was in the band when we wrote that song.
Okay.
And, yeah, so Michelle and I really would just jam and, you know, we'd start playing a rhythm and she'd start playing a bass line and then I'd just come up with a vocal line over the top. And, yeah, because I was really heavily influenced by a band called Bow Wow Wow from the 80s. They were a Malcolm McLaren band put together, but extremely good musicians. The bass player was phenomenal, and if you ever get a chance to listen to their stuff, he's just incredible. And so Janelle and I, they were really big influences of ours growing up. And I think that definitely, if you listen to early Rum Babas, you can hear that influence coming through. Yep.
What were some of your favourite live venues from that time period?
Oh, well, I liked playing the big rooms. I really enjoyed using them. I loved playing Selena's big stage. That would have to be my favourite. I really enjoyed playing there. It was just a really good vibe in that room. And I loved it. That would have to be my all-time favourite.
I think the Rum Babas used to do that Trogs cover from memory.
We did. And we used to do it really fast. It was terrible.
That's right.
Did you ever hear
memories.
it?
I did. Memories kicking in now.
Yeah. But the last time we played it at a Reform gig, Mick Cox from Rose Teddy got up and played it with us, and he had the most incredible rhythm sound. I've never heard anything like it. He was just playing out of a little combo. He plugged in and started playing the riff, and I was just like, my God, like to pull that sound from that rig, just off the top of your head, it was just incredible. That was actually the coolest time I've ever played that song, I think.